Hello, guys and gals, and welcome. So today we got a look at the Diablo 4 update live stream for April 2023, and they said they were going to have a special announcement, and the special announcement was, well, that they were going to be having a new beta. Well, not really a beta. They're calling it the Server Slam. It's going to be from the weekend of the 12th to the 14th, and the level cap is going to be level 20. No progress from the previous betas will carry over, so you're going to have to level up again instead. There is also going to be a special Ashava, basically like mount, kind of like cosmetic that you can earn for killing Ashava. Since it's 5 levels lower than the last beta, it's going to be a little bit more difficult to kill Ashava. She was already a pain in the butt, and level 20 is going to make things a little bit more difficult. You can also earn some of the other rewards if you didn't get a chance to participate in the beta for some reason. The puppy, like for instance, the little wolf pup, is going to be available to be earned again, as well as some of the other titles. They also dropped on us this little bombshell right here, which was kind of expected, but at the same time, also just kind of weird to see it kind of just dropped in the middle of the Diablo 4 stream. But Diablo 2 Resurrected Season 4 will begin on May the 4th. We have no details on Diablo 2 Resurrected Season 4 at this particular point, other than just simply that it will be coming on May the 4th. Maybe there will be new rune words. Maybe there won't. Maybe they're going to do nothing. I don't know. I mean, it makes sense if you really think about it, because if you had followed the thread, which is, like the 4-month period normally, 4 months would have led us like directly to June 1st. And so season 4 for Diablo 2 Resurrected would have taken place at basically the exact same time as Diablo 4 launch, which would have been really awkward. And honestly, like, as much as people love Diablo 2 Resurrected, it would have been overshadowed by the launch of a brand new game, which the launch of brand new games tend to overshadow things. So look forward to Diablo 2 Resurrected on May the 4th. We're definitely going to be playing the hell out of that. And then literally the following weekend, after the launch of Diablo 2 Resurrected Season 4, is literally going to be the Server Slam beta, which is the weekend of Friday the 12th to the 15th, which I believe is Mother's Day weekend, isn't it? So that's going to be a freaking hectic 2-week little period there between the launch of Season 4 in Diablo 2 Resurrected and the Server Slam, and then literally not even really that long after the Server Slam. We're talking about 1 week, 2 weeks, about 2.5 weeks after the Server Slam is the launch of Diablo 4. So we've got a pretty busy May into June. We'll probably be playing Diablo 2 Resurrected Season 4 pretty much all month, with the exception of maybe the Server Slam. Not really sure what new things there are to see in Diablo 4 beta, but we can definitely take a look. They did have kind of like a section here going over some of the previous stuff that we'd had already talked about. So they kind of did like a patch notes. And in the patch notes, they talked about the various changes, and most of this was literally just them kind of like defending the changes that they made. They did, however, nod specifically to that one specific, very vague change, which was legendary powers have had updated effectiveness. And he basically did say that, yes, a lot of legendary powers have changed. And he was very well aware that that was a very vague and very silly thing to put in there, because it is a very vast change that kind of like encompasses the entire game. He did, however, say, though, that these changes will be available in the Server Slam, so we will be able to go and check them out and actually test around with the characters to see how the changes have either made worse or better our particular favorite characters. They kind of doubled down on the summon minions will die more often thing, which was a little weird. But he did also say that there will be more corpses to use to summon the minions with. So I guess at least that's a good thing. And they did also nod specifically to the bosses that were having, like a particularly deleterious effect on the minions, because in specifically one of the major complaints of summon minions will die more often was, well, the bosses were already one-shotting the minions anyway. And he basically had went over the fact of saying that they had actually addressed a lot of the boss's abilities so that the bosses won't be one-shotting the minions as often. There are going to be like kind of like special modifiers that will prevent the bosses from dishing out massive amounts of damage to all of the minions at one time. Like it's not fair when the boss does a massive AoE attack. You can get out of the way as a player, which is what they basically said, but the minions can't. So they're gonna look at and address the damage output of those particular abilities in terms of, like the minions who can't get out of the way. They also went through the process of further expounding on like the differences between like their backtracking and dungeons. This is an image of the previous dungeon, and then as they go forward here, there is a picture of the fixed version of the dungeon, and it's really just a matter of like them trying to make sure that the objectives are along the route as opposed to being like kind of like in the wrong places all over the place. Personally, I didn't really have too much of an issue with this, but um, I don't know. They also had a really weird comment about the overlay map system. So Riker had actually asked the question about the minimap and the overlay map, and we got this really weird kind of a response from, I believe it's Joe Piaparo, the one that's right and sitting next to Riker. He basically said that, who is it? Joe Shelley. So we got this really weird comment by Joe Shelley, which was kind of like a double down. It was like imagine I was standing on the edge of a building and I was gonna jump off, and you're like, "Hey man, you probably shouldn't jump off the building. Come on down and we'll have some coffee." And then I like went into like a diatribe about why me jumping off the building was okay and I could do what I wanted to do, and then I proceeded to jump off the building. Like it was really freaking weird. Like it was a really valid question, like that people wanted overlays and that the mini map was garbage, and that we were kind of wondering why the hell, a game from 2023 doesn't have a system that actually works properly. And he went into this long kind of like defensive stance of like, yeah, we don't want overlays in the game. Like it's a choice that we've made, and you guys are going to have to deal with it. We'll be listening to the community feedback on this, but he's pretty much like, but we're probably not going to change it, so you guys might as well stop asking. And it was really freaking weird. We didn't get any information here on the zooming in and out. I was really hoping that they were going to talk to us about letting the characters zoom out a little bit more, but maybe when we actually log in, we will, be able to zoom our characters out or something. It'll just be magical. They also got a couple screenshots of some unique items here, ancestral unique items, and so forth and so on. These are some really powerful pieces of equipment. Gives us an idea of the kind of stats we can look forward to. They were talking about legendary items, unique items. There was a really interesting comment in here specifically about the item being the level requirement of the character that you found it on, which was actually kind of weird and could potentially make for a very odd situation where you are trying to find the most powerful item you can on the lowest level character that you can, because he basically made it seem like say for instance I found a Harlequin Crest Shaco, or the ancestral unique item. If I found it at level 50, it would be level 50 requirement, and then I would have a freaking really powerful item that I could use on just about any character that I'm leveling up with. However, if I found that same item on level 100, it would be a level 100 item, and so forth and so on. And this kind of like makes for some very odd situations, in my opinion, where we may end up seeing some very powerful items at very low levels. And I don't know exactly how that's going to work out, but I guess we will find out. They also talked about Hell Tides. Hell Tides is something that they've gone over before. Hell Tides are basically special events that occur within the game world, and I believe they talked about the Hell Tides right here. You can earn special rewards through the Hell Tides, and I mean, that's kind of cool. I actually kind of want to experience a Helltide. I was really hoping they would have some within the beta, but it doesn't look like we're going to get access to those just yet. They also talked about PvP. Specifically, they said PvP is something that you're going to get ganked in, so there will be groups in PvP, and you can expect to get ganked by 4-player groups. So, that's always, that's pretty standard PvP stuff. But it's nice to get confirmation that groups are allowed in PvP, and also that you can get ganked by those same set groups. So, I would be aware of that. Let's see here. They also kind of went over the Paragon board a little bit more and talked about some of the more advanced nodes like the crackling energy nodes and things like that. Talked about the rare nodes, which are very specific to those characters. And I mean, it was really just kind of an expanding upon the knowledge that we've already learned, but there are some interesting little tidbits here, like the legendary node here, Ceaseless Conduit. Crackling energy has a 25% chance to not consume a charge when triggered. Crackling energy's damage is increased by 2% per total intelligence you have. Current bonus of 50%. And like in here, they have the glyph sockets as well, so you can actually like socket glyphs into the board, which gives you access to some other things. This whole Paragon board is definitely something that we're going to have to explore, and we literally don't have access to it yet, which sucks. They also kind of vaguely went over the Barbarian, just simply needing a 10% passive damage reduction. They basically said that the Barbarian needed that damage reduction, and that they basically had no other choice. Like he was just too weak early on in the game, and he needed to be increased. I think that's pretty much it. I kind of felt like this one didn't really have a whole lot of information on it. I mean, this update really felt like the purpose of it was to tell us about the server slam. For those of you who participated in the early access beta and participated in the open beta, you may not find anything new in here. Being restricted to Act 1 specifically is not something that is very fun. It actually gets kind of boring after a while to be restricted to, just one particular difficulty setting. And, this particular kind of thing it does get a little bit tedious after a while because you can't progress. All you can do is just level up a bunch of characters to the same level over and over again, which doesn't really help. But we will be able to test out the changes at least. So if you're worried about any of the changes, at least you can hop on. You could play around with your favorite character. See if, some of the changes that were made has affected them deleteriously. The other important thing here is that if you haven't played, obviously this is your chance. You can hop on and you can play. I will warn you guys though, with server slams tend to be very server intensive, which means we may end up with very long queue times. There may be a lot of issues specifically with kind of like playing the game. Servers going down, other kinds of issues that might happen. The Ashava schedule for Diablo 4 Server Slam is right here. She's basically going to spawn on May 13th, starting at 9 a.m. PDT, and she's going to spawn every 3 hours after that. Last time they had some issues with the timing. It was off by 1 hour. Apparently, daylight savings time wasn't in their repertoire. And so, like, she was literally spawning like an hour later than what she was supposed to. So I don't know if they fixed that or not, but keep that in mind. She's going to be only fightable at level 20 this time, so you're going to have to get some poison resistance. She's going to be kind of a little bit of a pain in the butt. Now that most people know how to fight her, though, it's not too big of a deal. If you want to learn how to fight her, I do have a video on that. My Ashava fight video, I go over a lot of the details on how to fight her. This is the mount cosmetic that you can earn by killing Ashava. Right here goes on your horse. We probably still won't have access to the horses, though, in the beta. This is kind of like a graphic for the server slam. We will have access to all the classes, unlike the early access beta that only had access to the rogue, the barbarian, and the sorcerer. So you'll be able to play all the characters during the server slam. You can only level up to level 20, so they've restricted us 5 levels lower than the early access beta and the open beta. You can earn the wolf, you can defeat Ashava, and you can get all of the events done, though. Level 20 is still powerful enough that you can do most of the stuff. They keep talking about the battle pass. I feel like that was like really weird and forced. I'm not really sure anybody even really cares about the battle pass for all that much. I think they're just pushing it. A lot of the questions that they answered were kind of vague. They did say that WASD movement is not coming at launch, so that is a no. And I don't even know why everybody wants WASD movement. It's really weird. It's an ARPG. ARPGs don't generally have WASD movement. I think that's pretty much it. I guess we just get to play some more of the game. I'm actually kind of more excited about the Diablo 2 Resurrected Season 4 beginning on May the 4th. I want to know what they have planned for Diablo 2 Resurrected Season 4. What's coming? Like, are we going to see new rune words? Or do they have any like new patch information? What are they changing? Have they fixed anything? Like, I need to know this information. Anyway, as always, I do appreciate you guys and gals watching, and keep watching.